So normally when we would be together, we would have either a lunch or a dinner, and we would celebrate our heroes throughout the course of a really great night. And since this isn't normal and we're all here together virtually, we decided that we'd love to share our hero stories throughout the course of the conference. And so I have the pleasure, really the honor, of introducing Jerry Krauser, who's from the DC, Maryland, Virginia chapter, my local chapter, and I'm in Alexandria, Virginia, to introduce this year's hero, first hero. And full disclosure, and I think this certainly brings it back full circle. One, I did not know that this hero had been nominated, and I did not know if this hero had been chosen until I got the information in an email. And this is actually a personal connection of mine. It's when sometimes serendipity and the world we live in come together. And I remember very clearly a moment when a very, very good friend of both my husband and myself sent me a text message and said, "Hey, Connie, I need to talk to you." And I could already tell just by the tone in that text from the person I know that probably wasn't going to be the best conversation. And we got on the phone and he told me what was going on, and you're going to learn a little bit about it. But I just want you to know that the person you are about to hear about, the family that she comes from, the work that they've done is tremendous. And I am honored truly that you are here. And I am honored that I hope in some way we made the journey a little easier. But thank you for spending your time with us today. And I will now turn it over to Jerry to introduce our first 2021 ALS hero.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be able to present the Hero Award in honor and memory of Victoria Sawyer to her husband, Travis, her mother, and her mother, Jane. I've thought really long and hard about the best way to share Vicky's infectious spirit to those who didn't have the pleasure of meeting her. Well, I first got to meet Vicky in November of 2018, soon after she'd been diagnosed with familial ALS at the age of 28. I immediately fell in love with this funny, often quirky, and I say that with love, beautiful young lady. Sadly, Vicky passed away on July 20th, 2020, but her legacy lives on. Determined is a good adjective to use for Vicky. Her motto when she was diagnosed was, "So what, now what?" However, this determination really started early in life. Born and raised in Northern Virginia, Vicky was an avid equestrian, working her way from camp assistant to camp director of horsemanship. Vicky taught both children and adults to ride and care for horses at Woodlawn Stables. Well, she even taught instructors how to instruct riders. Originally thinking she wanted to major in marine biology, Vicky headed off to Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. Changing her major, she went on to get both her bachelor and master's degree in education at ODU. While teaching second grade at Ocean View Elementary School in Norfolk, Vicky was also working to complete her doctorate in educational leadership at Regis University in Virginia Beach. She was able to obtain her administrator license before ALS forced her to stop. Determination. Vicky loved to travel. After being diagnosed, she spent her 29th birthday in New Orleans for Mardi Gras and headed to Guam to visit family and share the island with Travis. Vicky loved the holidays. Her favorite holiday, Halloween, was a time to celebrate and have fun with family and friends. For Vicky, Christmas was not complete without a visit to Christmas Town here at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia. Vicky's so what, now what attitude, though, really went beyond just herself. She enrolled in the Biogen Tofferson trial at UMass, traveling on a regular basis from Virginia Beach to Boston. But locally, Vicki and her family attended the Chesapeake support group meetings. I can tell you, more than once, I reached out to Vicki and asked her if she would speak to another newly diagnosed person. Her answer was always yes. In 2019, Vicki and her family formed Team Sawyer for the Hampton Roads here in Virginia Walk to Defeat ALS. That year, she was not only the keynote speaker for the walk, but she led the crowd in both warm-up and dance from her wheelchair on stage. Determination. Due to Vicki's influence and impact on the faculty and staff at Ocean View Elementary, they would become one of her greatest supporters, forming a walk team in her honor. But Vicki not only helped at the local level, she wanted to the voice of ALS to be heard nationwide. This led her to participate in the ALS Association National Advocacy Conference in 2019. While she told both her and her father's story about familial ALS, she perhaps will be most remembered for the wheelchair races down the halls of Congress during the 2019 Hill Day. Determination. Oh, and by the way, she won. Vicki's husband, Travis, will tell you that Vicki felt her shining achievement was Cora May, born on June 4th, 2020. She stated that her whole life led up to Cora. Travis tells the story of how, after a visit to the Jones Institute for Reproductive Medicine, they were sharing with a neighbor their concern over finding a surrogate to carry their embryo. The neighbor immediately said she would love to be the surrogate. So an embryo tested to be without the familial gene Vicki inherited was implanted, and beautiful Cora was born. Determination. It's really easy for me to find words to describe Vicki. Among those like determined, words such as passionate, caring, joyful, and I can't forget funny, only start to explain her life and impact on others. Vicki leaves behind her husband, Travis, beautiful infant daughter, Cora May, her mother, Jane, family, Team Sawyer members, and many, many cherished friends. Her legacy is one of caring for others, and she is truly an ALS hero. So it is a huge, huge honor for me to be able to present this award to Travis, Jane, and Cora in memory of our hero, Vicki.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Kalani. Jerry and Kalani, you've said it all. But I'd like to say that receiving this award on behalf of Victoria is an incredible honor. We know she was something special and are humbled by this gesture. The ALS Association was a lifeline for us. The support group meetings, events, availability of information helped us through this awful time. The truth is, if it weren't for Victoria, we would have never gotten through this as well as we did. Her strength, love for family, and wild sense of humor helped us keep our heads as we muddled through the 21 months of her illness. From the moment she was born, she was a shining spirit. She was easy to raise, always thoughtful of others, determined to do something positive with her life. She chose teaching. She knew how to inspire her students, how to make them each feel special and loved. She was an old soul, as they say. Somehow she always knew what to do and what to say. She was adored by so many, her family, friends, her students at Woodlawn and at Ocean View Elementary School, and her ALS family. She had so many friends. She was energetic and talkative, just like her daughter, compassionate, loving, and loyal. She was strong. She married Travis, who she called her knight in shining armor. Together, they continued to give to their community by participating in charity events and garnering support to help disadvantaged children, to raise money and awareness to defeat ALS, and so much more. She was a gift to all of us and to all those who knew her. She gave of herself always to at least bring a smile to someone's face, oftentimes a stranger. Her greatest gift, though, is her daughter. Cora in the face of everything. She and Travis made great sacrifices to bring her into this world safely without worry that she would carry the ALS gene. Victoria was able to spend 6 weeks with Cora and Travis as a family. I will forever be grateful to God for answering that prayer, to let her meet and bond with her baby and for them to be a family they so wanted. So again, thank you all for this honor and for all you do for those living with ALS and caring for those who have ALS. Travis?
Thank you, everybody. It's an incredible honor that Vicky's getting this award. I used to say it all the time, and I say it still. I was lucky enough to meet Vicky, to know her as a friend, but even much less get the opportunity to be married to her, and then carry on and have a daughter with her. She left behind a lot of things and a lot of people, a lot of humor, a lot of phrases. She would always say she was never scared. She was just worried about us. She's like, I'm not afraid. She was like, this isn't something that's necessarily unique to just me. She's like, everybody ends up going through something challenging like this. She had a lot of perspective in that way, but she would always say, everything's going to be okay, even if it isn't. That was one of her favorite things to say, along with so what, now what? And I still carry those with me. But thank you, everybody. You guys are all amazing. You've definitely helped us through all of this. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, it's so great to see Cora. I see her on Facebook, but it's so good to see her live. And I just want to say, everything you said is so true. I've told some people that when I first started chatting with Vicky, I was like, she might be the coolest person I've ever met. I wish I could be that cool. Like, it's just not going to happen. And so, Jane, thank you for sharing that gift with us. Travis, it was amazing to me when I learned that you all decided to move your wedding up, right? You changed that date, moved it up, and really leaned into everything. And you are a brave person, and not everyone would be that brave. So I think it says a lot about you, your daughter, obviously, your wife, and your family. And so thank you for being a part of our family, even though it's one you didn't want to dial into this way, but now you are. So we are blessed to have you here with us today. Thank you for sharing your memories, your time. And Jerry, thank you for everything that you've done for them as well. And obviously got to know them quite well. So with that, I think I don't know how it happened, but we might be ahead of schedule now, which is great. We are going to take a break. Yep, there's the slide. It says take a break. You are welcome to certainly stay with us through the next course, but through that break, don't forget to put in questions into the chat. We're going to come back at 1/2 the next hour, so Eastern time, that's 2:30. And then we will get started with diving deeper into our strategic priorities and how we make ALS a livable disease by 2030. And we can tell Cora and Travis and Jane how we did that just in 9.5 years. So I think that's it for now. We'll go to break and we'll see you at 2:30.